Going on social media, you will find a ton of complaints regarding the Season 11 Battle Pass, including even me and Bobo giving it a fairly negative review in our Battle Pass video. So why such a negative reception? What makes this season so bad? And what was the reason that the devs made it in this form? That's what I'll be trying to cover in today's video. Before I continue, I need to change the focus of this video a tiny bit. A lot of people on social media are complaining, but the reality of the situation is most people don't dislike this season's Battle Pass, they're just very meh about it. I ran a poll among you all because that's the easiest way in my eyes to test how the community is feeling, and 58% of you felt like the season was meh, and only 14% of you actually committed to saying you disliked it, which is not a lot of people. So while, yes, we may see on social media post after post after post complaining about this season's Battle Pass, in reality, it's just the vocal, angry people doing what they do best every season. So if most people don't dislike it, we do got to note that the fact that most people are at least impartial towards it. So let's cover the likely reason why that most people are impartial towards it, or at least the reason me and Bobo were impartial towards it. And I would say the reason for that is the cosmetics simply aren't good. I'm not saying they're bad, they're just not good. And the reason for that, they thread the line between the fantasy of Norse mythology and the hyper-realistic grunge of something like Mad Max. By fusing denim jackets and bear pelts and Viking helmets with chainmail, it creates a blend between the grunge and the myths, and a blend that frankly leaves no one happy. Those of us in the community who wanted to see more grunge, not exactly Vikings with grunge. They wanted to see more biker outfits, helmets, spikes, chainmail, things that scream Mad Max. By sacrificing what they wanted to combine it with the Vikings, they ultimately didn't get what they wanted. And they're now very meh about it because of the loss of not getting their genre, but also because these new cosmetics likely won't work in any grunge-type build. And for those of us who wanted a Viking season, our anger towards this Battle Pass is even stronger. The slight optimism we got from the reveal of the focus of the season has been killed by the lack of any true Viking cosmetics. Bear pelts are now fused with ugly denim, the lack of any axes, chain armor, and other things that scream Viking. And for those of us who wanted a Viking season, I think it's quite strange that this Viking season is possibly our worst nightmare, with the chance of any season ever being about Vikings again likely gone, and this being what we got, we can't exactly make really good Viking builds anymore. So by fusing two separate things, ultimately no one was left happy, and by trying to combine these post-apocalyptic vibes with the Norse mythos, we got something that no one is particularly looking forward to. So why did they try to feed the wants of the Norse myth buffs and the post-apocalyptic boys? Well, because to put it simply, we can't have this many military seasons in a row. I know a lot of people in the community want constant military seasons, but this game is post-apocalyptic, not a milsim. It takes place in Norway, not the middle of Russia or Germany. We do need to sometime feed what the game is actually about. I do love the mill seasons as much as the next guy, but we can't have 3 straight seasons of constant military combat items. Now, I'm not saying that Vikings and grunge was exactly the route that the devs needed to take, it's just that we can't keep adding mill seasons, or else the battle passes will start to blend together and begin to shift the focus of the game away from what it truly is, which is post-apocalyptic Norway. And this brings us to the second issue. Why they decide to fuse these two separate concepts? You have the Norse and you have the post-apocalyptic. Why'd you fuse them? Well, the issue is the devs understand the community's heavy care about realism. And if Vikings were to come back to Vigor's lore, they'd likely take the appearance we see in the Battle Pass rather than a genuine Viking experience. The Vikings we get in the Battle Pass are pretty realistic to what we would get in this type of environment. Just kind of ramshackle cosplay-esque type. By trying to appease the side that doesn't want to see Vikings in the game at all, you ultimately made the side that wants to see Vikings completely upset in the process. The very people who don't want to see Vikings or don't want to see grunge aren't going to be happy even if you meet them halfway. I mean, the reverse is also true. The Viking people are not happy right now because you met them halfway and you didn't really give them the season they were dreaming of. And by doing this thing where you try to appease both sides, ultimately you've left a lot of the community feeling very nonchalant about the new update. A strong sense of melancholy is kind of taken over because everyone's like, this isn't exactly what I wanted. It's not horrible, but it's not what I wanted. And by doing so, I really think you've kind of taken a lot of the drive to be hyped about this Battle Pass out. But to be honest, I do got to put a bigger disclaimer here. I think the most people who are complaining, myself included, are the vast minority of players. and that most players are going to buy the Battle Pass regardless, and that the vocal nature of this minority is not really very important, and that frankly, we are just complaining because the Battle Pass isn't exactly what we wanted. I think ultimately at the end of the day, this season's going to come and pass. People are going to be like, oh, the cosmetics were and everyone's just trying to move on with their day without any major grievances. And while yes, I do think we need unique cosmetics, I don't really think this was the answer to the problem of too many mill seasons in a row. But I think ultimately at the end of the day, it's not going to matter. And I think because it's a Battle Pass, 3 months down the line, we're just going to completely forget this dialogue even happened. But that is all for me, and honestly, maybe the devs take my advice here, maybe they don't, but that's just my 2 thoughts on this Battle Pass as to why so many of us have this feeling of melancholy and just a general disdain. But until next time, this has been Christopher East. I hope you all enjoyed, and I hope to see you all next time.